Welcome back to our channel. I want to thank you for watching. On this video today, I'm going to show you the reason why corruption in Liberia has gone uncontrolled. In this episode, we'll be able to discuss the reason why this African country, which is a poor country compared to other nations across the continent and around the world, has faced extremely difficulties and corruption has ravaged the country so far. Liberia faces a backlash over how to handle corruption and lots of accusation coming also from the United States of America in terms of different areas. Liberian officials, which includes the chief of staff and also the country's chief prosecutor earlier this month over corruptions, were also suspended in allegations that tied to multi-million-dollar contracts and at least $1.5 million in diverted public funds. You could begin to think why such a country could consider embezzling such an amount of money. However, the affair has continued to bring headlines in regards to in Liberia and around the world, where different opposition and human rights groups have condemned officials and also requesting the dismissal and calling for widespread corruption investigation into other members of government in Liberia. The situation threatens the current president's position in the country ahead of presidential election that is set for the 10th of October in 2023. However, on the 15th of August, the United States Treasury Office of Foreign Assets Control imposed sanctions on Nathaniel McGill, which is the Minister of Presidential Affairs, who serves as Chief of Staff, accusing him of having bribes and business owners and accept bribes from different quarters within the country. The office said that McGill misappropriated government assets for his personal gains and organized warlords to threaten political rivals. Simeon Selfus, the Liberian Solicitor General and Chief Prosecutor, was also sanctioned after being accused of receiving bribes for dropping cases and having developed close relationship with suspects of the criminal investigation. The head of National Port Authority, Bill Twentway, is also accused of having diverted $1.5 million of vessel storage funds into private sector. If you want to know more, watch this clip from Al Jazeera.
Two senior members of Liberia's government are breaking their silence. They had kept quiet after the U.S. Treasury imposed sanctions on them in August, accusing them of corruption. Nathaniel McGill, the president's chief of staff, denies the misappropriation of public funds and of instructing warlords to threaten political rivals. He says the U.S. has got it wrong, that it's a case of mistaken identity.
But somebody may have misled them. Somebody may have told them a story that's not correct. And there are people out there who are using my name. That is a fact. It's a fact. And it's been reported, people have been arrested. But somebody may say McGill's doing it, but I'm not the guy who's doing it.
The country's Solicitor General, who used to run a publication called The Plain Truth, says the U.S. accusation are all lies. He blames his former boss, the Minister of Justice, for any wrongdoing.
The Minister of Justice should be accused of all those things. He receives documents, he reviews contract, he signs contract. Never in my life, since I became Solicitor General. Even Petty Cash is the Minister of Justice.
The men have been suspended by President George Weah. The former football star was elected in 2017 on a campaign promising to fight for the rights of poor people. His goal was to eradicate corruption and poverty. Retired civil servant Paul Flomo has hoped that Weah's presidency would bring change. He's appalled that government officials are now accused of stealing millions of dollars from the state coffers from which he gets his small pension. Not only is his $60 a month pension rarely paid on time, it is a meager sum compared to the $5,000 a month salary members of parliament receive.
The accusation and also the sanction involves freezing the official assets or U.S. assets which are in the United States at the moment. And also McGill and Selfus have responded in writing letter to the country's president, denying some accusations and decrying others as fake. In different ways, you could imagine a country like Liberia that has struggled over the years, and also it's a country which the United States of America remains its main donor. If you consider Liberia's poverty remains extremely high and widespread, with more than half of the population, looking at over 50%, at the moment living below the national also poverty line. According to recent figures, household incomes and expenditures survey, the translations into roughly just over 2.5 million Liberians, that's just over 71% who are unable to meet their basic needs. Around 60% of the population of the country is poor, currently live in rural areas where poverty incidents are also extremely high, more than twice as high as in cities, so to point out. In addition, 44% of the population live under the extreme international poverty line of just over 1.9 US dollars per day. Poverty in Liberia is projected to increase over the next few years, driven by increasing food prices, so to point out, lower commodity prices for minerals, and also based on the ongoing challenges that the country faced recently with COVID-19, the Ebola epidemic, and also the war in Ukraine and Russia, which has ravished the country's current food challenges that they are facing.
3 Liberian officials named in imposed U.S. sanctions on Monday have been suspended by President George Weah. A statement issued Tuesday by the Liberian presidency said President Weah views the allegations against the officials contained in the report as grave. He also designated the principal deputies of the suspended officials to act in their stead. The U.S. announced Monday that it has imposed corruption sanctions on senior Liberian officials, including one close to President George Weah.
It is a disgrace to see a country like Liberia that basically relies heavily on natural resources and also with much of its income coming from the United States in terms of donor contribution and supporting the economy to move forward. It's a disgrace for Liberia's officials to get into this particular mix-up in terms of poverty and also corruption. If you could imagine that parliamentarians in Liberia receive an average of over 5,000 US dollars a month in terms of stipend for a country which its normal citizens live below poverty level. The proportion of poverty household living below the international poverty is just over 1.9 US dollars a day. It is projected that is going to increase in several ways with different impacts in terms of COVID-19 and several things that has affected the country. While it is difficult to gauge the precise and difficulties that the country is currently at the moment, you could imagine that such senior officials are engaged in terms of stealing the country's money, and instead of providing the basic necessities that the citizens need, it's so difficult. I wonder why the United States continues to contribute money to this country, which is currently using the money for, or to say that its officials are using this money for their own private pocket. It is a disgrace that Liberia has become the laughingstock in the world. And this is the reason why leaders, philanthropists, people like Mo Ibrahim are very concerned with regards to countries, especially like Liberia, that these countries basically make Africans become a laughingstock in the world. It is a shame that these particular officials are involved. This is not just in Liberia. It's something which is prevalent across the continent, and people should really speak out and call out this. However, these officials at the moment have been suspended. We all are looking to see what the president of Liberia will continue to do in terms of tackling this difficult situation that, or officials that continue to plague the country's resources or money that's meant to support the poor and also bring developmental projects in this country of Liberia. It should, however, be noted that in 2021, the Corruption Perception Index, the watchdog Transparency International, ranked Liberia 136 out of 180 countries in its corruption index. The United States of America has a strong relationship with Liberia, which was founded by the free slaves in that's the 19th century, before the American Civil War. And the American authorities have played an important role in holding Liberians accountable both for corruption and crimes tied to countries through civil war. Given the strong relationship with the United States, sanctions are likely to have real impact to Liberian officials. In this case, you are looking at the local people or the common man to suffer from those sanctions, while those officials who have stolen the money, those cash, and divert them to their private pockets will continue to live fat with their different families. I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully, we've informed you with regards to the shameful situation in Liberia. We are looking forward to meeting you in our next episode. If you are new to this channel, we encourage you to watch some of our other videos. Give us a thumbs up and support our channel. We're looking forward to meeting you soon in our next episode. Let us know in the comment section that if it is good that officials who are trusted with public funds to manage those money and support the country's poor and bring development in the country are expected, people are looking up to them. However, they turn to take this money and divert in their own private pockets. If this is how the continent or Liberia will continue to live, to progress, and hoping that the people who are working their backs in the United States will continue to contribute money and give in to them, then let us know in the comment section. Please feel free to leave us your comment. We're looking forward to meeting you in our next episode, and have a good day. Bye-bye.